If you've been on this channel throughout the better half of last month, then it should be pretty obvious to you that I do not hold Sonic the Hedgehog 2 in high regard like everyone else does. It goes without saying that I prefer Sonic 1, and I cannot, for the life of me, understand why people would prefer this over Sonic 3 and Knuckles. You know, the pinnacle of 2D Sonic. So, how does this all happen? Why don't I like the critically acclaimed Sonic 2, which to this very day is credited as one of the best sequels of all time? Well, let's find out. Hey, I'm not gonna be unfair to the game. I'm not only gonna mention the bad stuff about the game and write off the actually good stuff as inoffensive. Because if you know the way Sonic the Hedgehog 2 was developed, you'd at least call it mediocre because of that alone. Supposedly a part of Sega of Japan went to Sega of America because of tensions with the Sega Saturn at 32X? I don't know. So we have people who can speak English, half that can speak Japanese, so communication was absolutely terrible. They only had a year to make the game too. With Sega of America developing Sonic CD, and with their current state, it's a miracle that this game came out not bad, especially as fast as it happened. So yes, for what it's worth, Sonic 2 is a very impressive game. Is it good though? I wouldn't say so. Emerald Hill Zone. A good start to a bad game. I don't know, it just always seems that really bad games in this franchise tend to bait you with good zones. The minute Emerald Hill Zone and Chemical Plant is over, they're all horrible, either unfair or unfun, and overall just an unpleasant experience. Kinda like City Escape.
FBI, open up!
Sonic Adventure 2 opinions aside, I still think that there are flaws to this zone, and even though some people consider it to be the best opening in the trilogy, I mean blatantly, that just isn't true. I would reckon that Sonic CDs is even better than Sonic 2's because of the introductions of the game's level design, mechanic, and time travel all being pretty well made, despite the fact that, you know, I don't like that game. And I'm sure no one's gonna be surprised when I say that in my opinion it's Sonic 3's Angel Island, but let's not get distracted. Overall good zones, at least in the context of Sonic 2, not the best zone. So it's just shy of being considered good. Next up is Chemical Plant Zone. Again, not a bad zone, but it's not a fun one either. Firstly, I want to clear up by saying no, Chemical Plant Zone does not sound like a top 10 Sonic OST piece. I'm sorry, but I just don't see how it sounds that good. It's definitely not good enough for me to be listening to in my free time, and that's what I consider a good Sonic soundtrack. Yeah, I'm just one for hot takes, aren't I? But seriously though, the gameplay is okay in this zone. You're getting crushed by things that really aren't your fault, or mindlessly running through downward-facing diagonal ways, going so fast that you leave the screen, only to get hit by some unseeable enemy. But some of the speed sections and the platforming are quite enjoyable. So yeah, pretty average level overall. Hey, how's the boss doing in this zone? Oh yeah, bro, I don't know, bro. Maybe I'm even giving these levels too much credit. Next up is Aquatic Ruin, which is where I really start disliking this game. At least Emerald Hill and Chemical Plant were at worst offensive, but Aquatic Ruin is really where this game really starts getting me frustrated. In this level, there's water, which if you know me, isn't a problem. Heck, I like Labyrinth Zone. But where it becomes a problem is if you have no way of telling where these stupid mosquitoes or grounders have no indication of where they're gonna pop out. It's come to the point that I literally roll into a ball all the time. Like, why should I even have to compromise anything for a zone to not be insufferable? Not bad, but it's just annoying. At least the boss isn't bad though, so there's that. Overall, it's a bad zone, but not really, bad. Well, can't say I didn't expect this. It feels like Aquatic Ruin really is a transition stage, because after a pretty decent boss fight, this game plunges you into the most boring, the most repetitive, the most ear-splitting, and the most degrading set of levels I have ever seen. And this is why, despite me hating Scrap Brain even more than these next 4 or so levels, I'd rather play Sonic 1. Think about it like this: I'd rather have 8 A's and 1 F than 5 A's and 4 D's. So let's get this over with, because I'm not really jumping with jolly joy to talk about these levels. So, Casino Night Zone. You know, this level is interesting because this level actually doesn't have any redeeming qualities. Like, the music is horrible, the boss fight is abysmal, and you do not want me to get started on the gameplay. Seriously though, simply accidentally landing onto a spring and holding the A button for a whole 5 seconds, just waiting for something to happen, only for you to miss the ledge by an inch and roll right back into the spring doing everything all over. It's just infuriating. Bouncing around with the pinball bouncers sounds fun, but it really isn't at all. And it's not like you're listening to good music while you're suffering. And the absolute worst part about this asinine music is that the player 2 music for the same zone is so much better. Take a listen. See? Anyways, a really bad level that's unenjoyable and overall unfavorable. Next up on our tour of disgusting vile levels, we have Hilltop. You know, Emerald Hill's older brother who made it all high in life, but the actual key for his success was just because he copied his younger brother. And yes, classic Sonic the Hedgehog, I know Hilltop Zone is probably a future version of Emerald Hill. But first of all, I think that excuse doesn't justify the fact that the only thing changed is the color of the ground. Not even the grass is touched or anything really. Something Sonic CD, you know, the time travel game, does. And secondly, you mean to tell me out of Wood Zone, Cyber City Zone, and all the other zones that were deleted from Sonic 2? The only one they made a future version for was the Emerald Hill, and when they decided to scrap all the zones, they kept this one? Okay, whatever. Defend the copied level aesthetic. What you can't defend is the one thing that stays with you throughout the whole zone, and it has to be one of the most horrendous pieces of anything my body has sensed. I know I'm beating a dead horse here, but god damn, the music in this zone is atrocious. I don't care if you love Sonic 2, or if you think it's the best game to ever exist, or anything else. I think it can be confirmed here, this music is the absolute worst. Forget boring like Metropolis, Marble Garden, Death Egg, this is straight bad music. And what makes this even worse is that the zone's gameplay isn't half bad. I love the parkour section with the rising lava. Sure, overground ain't that good, pretty boring, but the level design underground is really fun and enjoyable. Just wish the audio didn't bug out. Only seems to happen in this level too, which is quite weird. Overall, I think this zone is quite literally better on mute. Hey, what's this? Bit of actually good gameplay? Banger music and somewhat annoying yet somewhat challenging boss fight? That's right, it's Mystic Cave Zone, the breath of fresh air. Certainly not at the same level of enjoyment as Emerald Hill and Chemical Plant, but definitely better than the 5 or so zones that came before it. Sure, the occasional buzz light thingy can be extremely annoying since you can't even avoid it, and those enemies shoot out of the wall without much warning, but overall, the level design is well crafted, and putting stuff to open contraptions is a nice gimmick. And that's not to mention the beautiful aesthetic and the really nice music. It ain't anything exceptional, no, not even great, but it really is a nice breath of fresh air from a whole list of god-awful and downright horrendous zones. You know what? Maybe the first half of the game is why I don't like this game so much. Oh well, it's nice to see that things are only going up from here. Oh no. Oh no, please. I can't. No, please, no! Welcome, my friends, to the worst zone in the game. Oil Ocean Zone truly is a testament to how bad this game really gets. Although the gameplay, boss fight, and gimmicks suck, it truly is a shame because the music in this zone rocks. I love it, and it perfectly fits in with the level. The problem with it is the level itself, like I said. I don't understand. It's just the most infuriating thing ever, and somehow, Act 2 gets even worse. This is the most frustrating, consistently bad experience with the zone I've ever had. From the first time I played the game in 2019 to writing down the script right now, this zone has always been one of the least recommendable zones in my opinion. Very bad level with anything bad to say. The enemies are annoying, the level design is annoying, the bot is yet again another jump once and maintain your balance and boom, you beat it. You know what? Please, let's just move on. I'd really rather not talk about this godforsaken level. Now this level Metropolis Zone has done a complete 180 in my eyes. In my Green Hill Zone video, I quite literally put this level up with Hydro City, Angel Island, and Wing Fortress. But if you want to compare it to the levels like Metropolis Zone, Wing Fortress Zone, Hydro City, or Angel Island, yeah, no. Those levels have a perfect mix between platforming and speed with a hint of exploration so you can find stuff you never found before. But after playing the level again, yeah, I'd have to say it's pretty obvious that this zone is really bad. Firstly, I don't even need to say this, but why on earth are there 3 acts? Like, I know Perfect over here is shouting at me, telling me that I should like 3 acts because, I like Sonic 1 so much. But the problem is Metropolis' acts are all long, confusing stretches to the end of the zone. And no, you can't say the same about Labyrinth Zone, because even if it was incredibly slow, the pathway is always clear and up ahead. But in Metropolis Zone, there's so many times where you could get stuck in the loop over and over, which really makes this zone very frustrating to play. And that's not even accounting the fabled enemies, the Astron Slicers, and the stupid crabs that just make me experience this level even worse. Honestly, it's a miracle I even liked this zone before, which I didn't even know was possible now that I look back at it. Even the music, something that I've mentioned before in my Labyrinth video, sounds like something straight out of a freaking Cabin 18 video.
What's the rarest block in Minecraft? Well, actually, it's a really hard question to solve, even though I've said it over and over and over again. But I think I've finally found the answer. The answer to the rarest block in Minecraft is your dad, because he left your house and is never coming back with any milk or any kind of liquid at all.
No offense to Cameron, of course, but still, this is boring, repetitive, non-interesting music. And the boss, I mean, it's okay. You can't just spam it to death, but it's not anything amazing. Okay, finally, we're at the end game. First off, we have Sky Chase. Honestly, even though a lot of people have serious problems with the zone, with it being an auto-scroller, and that it stops the pacing, which is true, but in my opinion, Sonic 2 is too fast. Having this kind of break time from blatantly holding right and either simply waiting for something to happen, or getting interrupted rudely by some unseeable enemy, is nice. This level can be a doozy. I'm not even calling it a good zone on its own, but its placement is perfect, and the music is, well...
Bruh.
Oh my. Now this is my favorite zone in the game. Wing Fortress is absolutely the shining island in this ocean of bad zones, bad music, and bad boss fights. The opening is unlike any other thing from the classic Sonic games, and Sonic hops aboard the Wing Fortress. This level checks all of my checks for a good level: platform heavy, exploration, verticality, and curved terrain. I really don't understand why people have problems with Wing Fortress. Everyone just either complains about the good platforming or doesn't bother and skips half the level, which I definitely never ever did throughout the course of playing Sonic 2. Either way, this level is amazing, and the boss is one of the best as well. It's challenging, but not downright frustrating. It's the second to last zone of the game. I don't expect the Emerald Hill Zone boss fight difficulty. And lastly, we have the Death Egg, the big bad final boss. Back in 2019, when I first reached Death Egg, I was so relieved because Wing Fortress was really the most annoying level ever, and Death Egg really didn't hold back. I'm not joking when I tell you that this level completely beat me up for hours each day. I'd get game over after game over, playing it again and again. This boss zone was at first seen by me, and probably many others, as a horrible, unfair end to the game. But retrospectively, this stuff's easy. Like, all you need to do is a simple cycle to damage the Death Egg without taking harm, and you can beat Death Egg in like 2 minutes. I don't hate the zone, I don't like it either. It's just a level that when I beat, I immediately turn off the game to skip the credits and go to bed, because playing Sonic 2, in my opinion, is just really tiring. Like, playing the game, like, it's fun in the beginning, then it gets worse, and then by the time you're done playing Death Egg, you've been through a lot, so you just turn off the thing, you just go, because Sonic 2, it's a very demanding game on your mental health. Well, hey, we still aren't done yet. I present to you the only consistent thing to come out of Sonic 2. Both figuratively and literally, it's the special stages. In every zone except Sky Chase and Death Egg, you need to collect 50 rings and then proceed to reach a checkpoint. Once you touch a checkpoint, every other checkpoint before it and the checkpoint itself will be selected. So, not off to a great start. It's rather an annoying way to enter a special stage, but since I played on the 2013 version, when I actually realized the pressure stages were just half pipe, it wasn't half bad. It's quite repetitive, sure, but it's not like a criminal offense or anything. Oh, yeah, you're right, this is horrible. I mean, just look at this. The render distance is abysmal. Tails, and the bombs show up completely unannounced. Sure, I get the fact that it was in fact 1992, but for the love of God, no, this is horrible. Even Sonic CD did it better, and that's the first and last time you'll be hearing me praise Sonic CD's gameplay. When Matt has no cuts brought up the special stages in his Sonic 2 video, you know, the thing that was meant to be a love letter to the game. Even he hated the special stages. Just goes to show that no one likes the Sonic 2 special stages. Yeah, that's all I have to say about Sonic 2. It's a rather impressive game, but in the end, the plague of horrible zones, the bad music in general, the bad boss fights in majority of the level, and the gameplay being overall abysmal makes this experience a horrible one. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I'm really tired right now. I read the whole script, and this script, I'm not kidding. This script is really, really long. And bro, if I want to do the Sonic Frontiers challenge, it's gonna be even longer. Not to mention I did this like in the day I was not feeling so well. Probably why my voice is a bit off. So yeah, Sonic 2, I mean, it's a good zone. I wouldn't exactly say it's like it's a good game, sorry. It's a good game. Like, I mean, if someone was to subject me to playing Sonic 2 for the rest of my life, I wouldn't like start ripping out my hair. Like, it's not that bad of a game. But honestly, I'd rather play Sonic 1 or any other classic Sonic game except Sonic CD. Because you all know, Sonic CD sucks! Have a good day or night wherever you are. Around stuff with pinball bouncers sounds fun, but really isn't not at all. Why did I write it like that? What? Bouncing around stuff with pinball bouncers sounds fun, but it really isn't at all. Pyro isn't not at all. Bro, was I on weed when I was making this? Bro, I don't think that excuse doesn't justify. Bro, please, let me talk. Oh god. Defend the copied level aesthetic. What you can't defend is the one thing that stays with you throughout the whole zone. And it has to be one of the horrendous. Wait, horrendous, right? Horrenduster. Seriously though, simply acts. Ugh, oh my god, I burped. No. Think about it like this: I'd rather have 8 A's and 1 F than 4 A's. I'm saying it wrong. Please, someone help me. I need help, bro. I'm in the Matrix, bro. I can't talk. I can't talk in the Matrix. Unfair or unfun, and overall, just an unpleasant. Can I talk? For the love of God, for the love of Peter Griffin, can I please talk? Next up is Aquatic Ruin, which bombs just show up completely unannounced. Sure, I get the fact that this was in fact 1990, 90, 90, 99. What am I doing? What am I doing, bro?